All right, what's going on, everybody? It is the first day of fall. Nice, crisp, clean day out here. Got me talking to my son this morning. My kids are such an inspiration for everything that I do in my life. I revolve, so much of my world around helping them learn and grow, and so I learn from them as I teach them. So it's such a cool cycle. But my son was asking me about different situations, starting middle school, and hey, if I, run into this happening, how do I do this, or what should I say, or, just all kinds of inquisitive questions. And, I look at these scenarios and I'm like, well, this is what you do in this one, and here's what I would recommend over here. And, these things, they seem like simple solutions to me because I've already gone through those little experiences. I've gone through those situations and had to figure it out. And so it's great for me, first of all, as a parent, to be able to give him those shortcuts, help him out in situations where, I had to figure it out on my own. I don't want him to necessarily have to. At the same time, it allows me to look back at my own experience and look back to when I was a kid having to figure these things out, seeing what every new experience was about and how to respond to that. And those experiences and the decisions that you make within those opportunities to make a choice of react a certain way versus another, those are what develops you into who you are as an adult. Our lives are just a collection of experiences, okay? But these experiences are so important because that's how we gain perspective. Perspective is how we view any given scenario. Now, for example, if you take, say, learning how to drive. I'm 34 years old, or going to be 34 here in December, and, so I've been driving for close to 20 years. I do a majority of the driving all the time for my family, and so I'm very comfortable with it. But if you talk to somebody at the age of, say, 16, that person is going to have a different perspective on driving. Now, their initial reaction when they first come to the age where they can drive and actually getting behind the wheel for the first time, and the feeling that comes across your body and how it triggers this flood of emotion and nervousness, and your body's shaking and you don't know what's going to happen, and you have this amazing fear of, man, if I don't do this right, I could actually crash and hurt somebody, or, there's just all kinds of stuff going on. But once you've done something a couple of times, going through that act of getting behind the wheel, turning the key, putting your foot on the brake, shifting it into reverse, checking your mirrors, slowly backing out of your driveway, all the stuff that happens as you go through that act of driving, each one of those little pieces becomes less and less stressful. You have to think about it less and less. And as you go through that experience of driving over and over and over, you eventually will be to the point where you can get in your car and drive somewhere and not remember the whole trip. You'll show up at your destination and be like, oh man, I was thinking about other stuff the entire time. And it's that experience and that perspective of having done this over and over and over, where you no longer have to think about it and you can simply drive or respond as needed in any given situation, because you now have perspective. But the first time you face something, it's always new, it's always scary. And so most people spend their whole life trying to accumulate money, and that's, it's an important piece, but it's about, in my world, about a third of what you need to focus on. And so the end of the day, the person with the most money doesn't win. The person who has the most experiences wins, because every experience allows you to build on the perspective that you personally have as an adult. And adults are simply kids with experience. I remember being young and thinking about all the different scenarios in life and what it's going to be like when I'm an adult, and growing up and being able to make my own choices and all of those things. And it's just this far off, distant daydream. You make up your whole world that way because you have no perspective. You've never been an adult. You've never been able to make your own choices and decide what you eat and who you talk to and all the stuff that happens. And so as you become an adult, you've gone through so many more scenarios, but you still have the same basic instincts and needs and desires and natural biology that kids do. So you're still thrilled by things that you're uncomfortable with, things that get you outside that comfort zone and challenge you in a way that you've never experienced before. So this is my tip. If you want to be a kid forever, push your comfort zone and do things that you're uncomfortable with and create new experiences every day. You're not guaranteed tomorrow, so make sure that you take advantage of today. Do something you've never done. Talk to somebody you've never talked to. Shake hands with somebody. I mean, there are so many little things that you can do in a day that you probably don't do ever that will push you outside of your comfort zone a little bit, create a little bit of an experience for you, and it starts this snowball of chain reaction of events that you cannot determine where that goes and how that will impact your life. The only thing that you can determine and choose and have control over is what choices you make in every decision, in every opportunity that you get to have an experience, to add to that perspective that you have in life, and to grow your own personal value when it comes back to somebody else needing you as a resource for information on how to do something in a specific situation. You cannot answer questions about stuff you have no experience with. It's impossible. So I just want you to take a little time today, push yourself, do something you're uncomfortable with, get out there and have an experience that you didn't have yesterday, add to your personal story in life, and I'll see you guys next time.